At SteelSeries, we make the headsets, mice and keyboards that the world's best gamers win the most with. And we've been doing it since way back. It's up to you how far you go, but whatever you do, go for glory.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the NLC, the Northern League of Legends Championship. It is week 3, day 1, and it's upon us another week of beautiful gameplay where no one knows what's going to happen since every team keeps surprising us all. We have the best players, we have the best surprises, and we have the best desk with us today. It is Hiprain and Aragon from NLC. How are you doing? I just wanted to say this out loud.
Hello. I'm doing well, thank you. I'm really excited for today. I completely agree with you. We had some absolute bangers last week with a bunch of random upsets. So yeah, looking forward to today.
Last week was sick. There were so many really good games. So many upsets, like you said, as well. I think that was the best bit, was even though my predictions got completely ruined and I went from king of the world to just a lonely peasant, I actually don't care. I actually really don't mind, because the quality of the games and like the upsets, I love upsets. They're my favorite thing. I think today also has potential for some pretty big upsets, but also I think a little bit of maybe ego checking. Some of these teams who are sitting high are going up versus other teams on similar levels, at least in points wise right now, be going toe to toe today. And I think we're in for some really fun games.
Keep in mind that every single first day of the week, Hiprain, you land somehow on the first place of predictions. So it might be today, but let's talk about that further on the line. We need to understand who's going to be casting at the games today, who's going to be screaming as well. I think one of them is Danish and the other one is an animal. Let me just make sure if that's... How are you doing, Fox? And how are you doing, Duckling? Welcome to the cast.
An animal in what sense? Just like really feral
fox,
when it comes to League of Legends skills?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Yeah. No, I Jake said last week's games was sick. Hopefully this week's games are sicker, but maybe not quite as sick as Jake himself. He's been beaten with the ugly stick a few times, hasn't he?
And we have the baby.
For the record, he's
so
actually
young
sick.
as
I'm
well.
not just a complete.
No, he's actually
I don't
sick.
hate Jake. He is genuinely ill.
How are you doing, baby Duckling?
I'm doing great, as you just said. I'm Danish, so every day is a blessing here, right? Living in Denmark. Luckily, I'm not in the UK, because the UK is a big... no, I'm joking. UK is a decent
Thank you so much for that introduction, Duckling. Let's jump back into the desk. That was lovely. I'm just gonna leave him like that so people can think and, well, you know what?
Let it simmer.
I feel happy. I'm gonna give you something. So, if you want a mouse, a wireless mouse, Millocott, if you want a mouse, head on to Twitter and put in your predictions for Steel City. So, hit me with your best prediction, and the best prediction of the week will get this baby back at home. So, it's yours for the taking. You just need to be the best at predictions. Someone already has one. The second one is already on its way. And if you want the third one for week 3, because we're giving one away every single week, all you have to do is be the best at predictions. I know it's hard because NLC is so contested right now, but you gotta work to get this beautiful mouse. And with that, I want to test you, gentlemen.
Okay, I'm down.
Let's go.
Let's play a game. The game of today is called Guess the Sound. So it's quite simple. Production will play a sound, and all you have to do is raise something that I asked you before, so I know who's going to be... There you go. He has a pen. Please, you have an apple. Ah, so close. So it's a photo. I love it. So whoever raises their item first will be the first to answer the question. I need you to tell me which champion this is. By the way, for everyone at home, these voices are official. It might not be on the language that we play.
It's not your voice acting.
Oh, we're doing voices. I thought we were doing like ability sounds. Okay.
I don't know.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Production, hit me with the first one.
This is my domain.
Okay, this is Hiprain.
That's Neela.
That's
right?
Neela. 1 point for you, beautiful Hiprain.
When did you play Neela?
I've
never
played
touched
Neela.
that champ in my life. How do you...
I've never played Neela.
That's exactly why I brought it up.
Oh my god, okay.
Second sound, production.
If you refuse to join me now, Shorty,
Hipbrain.
Viego?
Who?
Viego?
You sure?
I feel like that was. I couldn't really hear it, but that sounded very Shadow Isle-y.
Can we get a repeat?
We gotta repeat.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with a Viego vote.
I don't think so. I think it's a void
not.
creature.
It is.
Oh. So. Oh my gosh.
It's female. It's
Is it Belveth?
It is Belveth.
Oh!
It is Belveth.
I've never heard Belveth's voice. Okay, I tried to work
It's
it
a
out.
hard
Cool.
one.
I'm gonna have to turn this up. Hey, production, could we like blare those sounds like really loud? I could barely hear that.
Raise the volume as we're going for the third one. Hit us.
Kitty! So cute. Must pet.
Paragon.
Is that... okay. Oh, there's two of them. Okay, I can't say both. I'm just gonna go with Nunu?
Nunu. Ah, that was so... No, not even close. Hipbrain.
Is it Melio?
It is Millie.
That was the two. It was Nunu and Millia. That's the two.
I
kid
genuinely,
characters.
I had the same thing. It was. I knew it was a 50-50 between those two, and you literally just gave me the 50-50.
I'm
Yeah.
loving this. Okay, we're gonna spice it up a little bit, okay? This is kind of an easy one. Then we go for the medium difficulty. Give us.
Now for the finish!
Just a guess. Gonna say set.
It is set.
Oh,
It's a
nice,
beautiful
yeah.
one. When
Yeah,
it jumps
nice.
and crashes in the ground. It's set. Now we're spicing things up. So 2-2. It's tied up. It's on you, gentlemen.
I'll show you, monstrous.
Oh, damn it! It's
It's
I have it on the tip of my tongue.
show us.
I don't.
Maybe I'll...
this is all you, Hipbrain.
I'm going Cho'Gath, but I feel like that's not it.
You think it's Shogath?
I think it's Cho'Gath.
It is not. So, Aragon, do you have to bet? Or do you want to skip it?
One more time.
I'll
Yeah,
show
go for it.
you, monstrous.
He goes deep.
I recognize that voice. It's so frustrating.
I
No, I got
really
nothing.
do.
I got nothing. What's the answer, Archer?
It is Carner.
No,
It is
not a
Carner.
chance.
Makes perfect
It
sense.
is. I brought in one of the worst, like, complicated voices from him. We're reaching the end. Show us the voice.
Mealtime.
Okay,
Mealtime.
Hipbrain first and then Aragon.
I'm gonna say Smolder.
No.
Damn.
Okay, that one I'm gonna say Nunu and Willem again. It's probably not.
No. It's Brier. It's the champion.
Right? Really?
Mealtime.
Yes.
Briar.
I can hear that now, actually.
I can't. I swear she didn't sound like that when I played
You're
her.
still tied up, so we need one more at least.
Oh,
Pay
no.
attention.
We're bad at this.
Can we have a mid lane champ?
Yeah, Aragon!
Nautilus.
Nautilus! Yes, sir!
Is that actually it?
It is.
Underwater
Now,
noises.
We have one final. This was the last one? This was the last one, apparently.
Ah, damn it! Alright, Archer, I got
Alright,
a bone to
GG,
pick
boy.
with you, man. I got a bone to
bro.
pick with you.
It-
You
it-
never put mid lane stuff in here. Every
Exactly.
competition I do with you, you never put mid lane stuff in it. There was a top lane champ, and he
Need
got
to
that.
handicap you, man. You're too good at
Only
this.
only set was the top player, and then you got it right, so.
And he got one extra point from me. I'm just saying, man. Like it's.
Nautilus has been played mid.
See?
Yeah, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy who plays Naught mid.
Don't worry, we're gonna have more games through the future. So, Hipbrain, you won one, you lost one, and Aragon, you just got your W, the first one. So, I'm gonna hand it to you. What do you want to do now, Aragon?
Yeah, so Hipbrain, you have a chance to redeem yourself because
Oh,
this is
for
a
God's
game
sake.
only for you.
We're just
Riot.
picking on the sick guy, man. I have I'm pretty sure I have COVID right now, and you guys are just bullying me on air. What is
So,
just beating
Let
on
me
the ill
preface
man?
it. Okay, let me preface it. Riot have decided to buff a bunch of different champions this patch, and since it's the first week of NLC on 14.2, I thought it'd be fun to quiz Hipbrain and those at home on 5 drafts from the LEC because they've already been played on 14.2. Now, these drafts have their champions locked in, but they aren't in the correct roles. So, Hipbrain, it's on you to tell me what champion goes where. Can we get draft 1, please?
I just need to preface this by I haven't watched Alicia.
Yeah,
towards
that
the
makes it
split.
better.
So I have no idea.
Which champion goes where? There are 5.
Okay. I'm going to say that is Maokai Jungle. It is
Bingo.
Kalista ADC Bard support. And then, here's the thing. I know Udyr has been getting played mid. But I feel like Ezreal top is also... I'm going to say Udyr mid, Ezreal top as like as my...
Wrong. It is Ezreal mid and Udyr top lane.
Damn it!
Draft. There it is. There it is. Beautiful. It was played and it was absolutely horrendous. So
Yeah,
there you go.
I can
Number
picture
2,
that.
please.
Okay,
Go
this is probably going to be Maokai Jungle again. Akali mid, Varus top, Lucian ADC, and Renata support.
Can we get the real one? Wrong again.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, this one. And the answer to that will come later on. This is in a sort of order of ascending difficulty, right? So it's going to get harder and harder and harder. And so far, you are 0 for 2. Hipbrain, what do you have to say for yourself?
I'm poorly. Leave me alone.
Okay, next.
Are you there?
Okay.
Come on, you got this one.
Vi Jungle, Maokai. Oh god, Maokai and Zac are actually relatively interchangeable as support. Yeah, so Vi definitely jungle, and then we're gonna put Azir mid. I think they're the pretty easy ones. Senna ADC, or support, I guess, but Senna probably going bot lane, joined by, I'm gonna say, Zac, and then Maokai top. It's so
You keep
wrong,
getting
isn't it?
so close. No, you keep getting so close every single time. It is Zac top lane.
I knew
And
those
Maokai
two were
support.
interchangeable. I knew they were interchangeable.
So
man.
close. So close, Jake. Okay, next one. This one is related to another one we had before. So I wonder what you say about this. This is getting hard now.
Okay. Right. Kalista and Leona going bot lane. I am going to say it's going to have to be Brand mid, Lee Sin jungle, Cassante top.
Not quite. Not quite.
Yeah.
It is
Oh, it's
jungle
Lee mid.
brand Lee mid into
Ooh.
Akali to counterpick with the reveal.
Yeah.
So the stealth reveal adds Y. All right, and the last and final one. This is the hardest one in my opinion. You could argue that one was, but go ahead, production.
Okay, this is Yas and Rel bot lane. Oh, no, it can't be. No, it can't be. It's going to be Rel and Senna bot lane, Hawaii mid, Maokai jungle, and Yasuo top.
Can you repeat the bot lane for me? Oh, there we go.
I got it wrong. I got it pretty... Again, it was just 2 people off. Like, the Rel is in the jungle.
Don't
Yeah.
feel bad. This one was legitimately a pentaflex. So
Okay, cool.
it's really no worries. But this is the... I imagine we're going to get this kind of direction today because it's been happening a lot in major regions. But yeah, well done, Hipbrain.
I got
You did not
0.
redeem yourself.
I was
you
pretty
did not
close.
redeem yourself.
I'll take comfort in the fact that I was, like, 1 off on everyone, but just didn't get it perfect.
But it's quite interesting, Energon, because you just brought the idea that we're jumping into the new patch and a lot of things have changed. So even the games themselves are going to change. Even though we talked about how interesting they're going to be today. So that's to me the key question right now. So that's why we want to jump into the schedule to understand what we have on the menu today. Okay, don't worry, we got you. It's going to be Natives versus DMG to start off the day. Ruddy versus Lightside to follow through. Verdant versus Lion's Creed. And then Venomcrest versus Nord. The game of the day. Let me just check. Yeah, it's going to be... Oh, you know
Verdant
this
Lion's
one,
Creed, right?
Yes, sir. This is going to be an interesting one. Why do you think this is the game of the day?
I think it's pretty interesting because Lion's Creed, they were our favorites, right? But last week, they did not look good. I think in particular, Tempt, I was really unimpressed with. I think you could tell, right? You could tell he's that absolute micro god, but he was making such weird decisions. Maybe you could argue were disrespectful. I think a lot of people are curious to see just how well he performs this week and to see if they get back on track. And Verdant, they've just been one of our top teams, consistently performing. So it's just a battle of the top tier teams.
So I actually really feel like this isn't match of the day. This is
Okay.
a very, very good game, but I actually
Yes.
think our last game of the day is match of the day. that is Venomcrest versus Nord. That's
Yes.
game number 4. I will go deeper into this later, but these two teams are very close in the standings. They're both 3-1, and the reason why I think they're both first not match of the day, and also why I think it should be match of the day, is because I think both of these teams were like mega slept on. I think nobody really gave Nord the attention they needed. Venomcrest at the beginning of the season was very underestimated. I think they've kind of proven their point by now. But I do think they're both two really slept on teams. So for me, I find that really interesting. We currently have a 4-way tie at the top. Natives, Nord, Venomcrest, and Verdant. 2 of those are fighting at the final today, Nord versus Venomcrest. They will be deciding where they sit. So it's going to be super fun. I mean, our first game of the day, I actually think Natives, if they screw this up, they actually should really just go have a long, hard look in the mirror. Because they're going versus a 0-4 DMG. So if they lose this, it's time for an ice plunge. And just to kind of wake up. But I feel like everyone else who's at the top of the table have hard games today. So to remain at the top is actually very, very hard unless you're Natives right now.
I think finally today we'll get the idea of everybody will be separated. I think we might have some ties, but at least the first place will be isolated, something we haven't had access so far in 3 weeks of NLC. But also the first place for predictions so far is sitting with Eragon. And somehow we got 20 points.
Woo! I think I'm going to lose it today,
word.
boys. I think today is so hard to predict, by the way. It is unbelievably hard. Every game, I think you could make an argument as game of the day. It is really, really crazy how hard it was for me to predict. And I just ended up putting points on random teams. I could not think of it. So yeah, I fully expect to be at the bottom or maybe middle of the pack at best.
I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I'm just taking sick pleasure in duckling smack talk in my home country and being -2 right now. What a moron.
Yeah.
I have fallen from grace, bro. I am 5th. I was at the top of the table. Oh,
I'm joining
man.
you soon. No worries.
So I will say, I've been very confident in a lot of my predicting. And maybe not always quite rightfully so. As you can see, I've slipped massively from the top of the table. Today is the day where I feel the least confident. I'm still going for my 5-5-1-1. Predicting style. I like my high risk, high reward, but I am very, very unconfident. What I should have done if I wanted to play it smart was put 5 points on Natives, because I feel that's a slam dunk. I mean, everybody else but me and Foxy have done that pretty much, because it is basically a slam dunk. I really went in on the Nord vote, and they haven't failed me yet, so I'm giving them much love for that. Lions Creed versus Vern, another very ballsy vote by myself, but this is definitely the day where I'm most nervous about it. I really could lose it all here.
I am so surprised. I am so surprised more people aren't voting for Lightside against Ruddy. Ruddy looked like they were kind of in shambles almost at all stages of the game last week. And Lightside, they beat Lions Creed, who are admittedly underperforming, but also they really did well early on into Verdant, right? So they looked pretty decent. I wouldn't be surprised to see them come out against Ruddy today.
To me, that was the hardest one to vote. Like the Ruddy matchup, I was so confused. But I also feel the 5-5-1-1 is the best idea to jump into. But if you get it wrong, like...
it stings. It stings when you get one of them wrong. It's really rough. Like, you should... Realistically, I should be spreading my points out. But it's so much more fun when you get that big 5-pointer win. It feels so good.
Let's take this opportunity then to talk about the first game, because you think it's a slam and dunk, the Natives versus DMG, but there's a world where DMG might take over versus Natives. Obviously, Natives is one of those teams we're looking for at least playoffs minimum, but there's a world. What do you think?
I think Natives have looked very, very good, and that's obviously that feels so kind of like retrospective and almost loaded because they're at the top of the table, but I think them and Nord have been the two teams at the top of the table a lot of people slept on. A lot of people were very hyped about Verdant, Lions Creed, even Ruddy coming off last season. Even though it's a very different Ruddy roster, I still think people were very hyped on Ruddy. Mostly because Ruddy do have that kind of excitement behind their name. So people do get excited for them regardless of their team lineup. But I feel like Natives and Nord were the two teams who were like super kind of like almost ignored. And a lot of people weren't voting for them early. But Natives have been insanely consistent. On the other side, DMG have been downright disappointing. And I think they're disappointing because they're a good team. There's a lot of good players on there. They got the triple Danish with Agony Pain, Liam Cole in person. And a lot of us kind of had the expectation that this is a good roster. Like, we've seen a lot of these players before, and we've seen them perform before. But right now, they are not being able to find their footing. We're now into week 3. They really need to show me that there's some life in this team, because right now I'm not overly sold on them, and that's why I think this is a slam dunk for natives.
I think it's really easy to say like natives are just like much better, right? The avenue of attack, I'd say for DMG I was really impressed. They had a not bad Lucian game, right, versus Nord. They played really well early and nearly converted into a win until they just got out-macroed in the mid game, and that's fair. Nord are a top tier team, right? Today, maybe they come out on top, they pull off a similar strategy. I've been really impressed with Liam Cole outside of one Aphelios game, I think, which was just a self counter pick into Varus. So maybe a similar Lucian draft. It's not as good this patch, but who knows? That might be the way to go forward.
And that's the idea. Do you think like this patch will empower the team that is struggling right now from the previous one? Do you think it opens a little bit more? Or the opposite?
Not at all. This patch got a lot harder, and it's definitely more rewarding for experienced players who have a lot bigger champion pools, because like with what I showed you, Jake, with that minigame, there are a lot of really confusing drafts and a lot of potential with a bunch of different changes and buffs and nerfs. So yeah, experience is key here, and I think this is overall a nerf to DMG.
So the bigger the champion pool, the harder it is to guess
absolutely.
what's going to happen on the
The bigger the champion pool, the more options you have, and the harder
more
it
mind
is
games.
Exactly.
The more mind games you can play in Champs Select. I love these kind of patches where you don't have like a set few champions who really stand out. Instead, you have like the ability to flex, the ability to kind of pick more things. I guess because I'm not a smarty pants like Aragon. I'm kind of curious, like, what has carried over? Like, what champs do we think will remain relevant, or do you think it has been a straight up like big stripping of champions?
So you'll see some recognizable faces. It's more like it's mostly that stuff got added in rather than stuff got replaced or taken out. There is some stuff that are a bit gone because of double support items being disappearing, and some champions that have come into which has pushed other things out, like Rumble's dropped a little bit, but it's still pretty good. Stuff like the Zac has come in. It's mostly additions.
But those specific champions like Sante, even Udyr,
they're all still there.
Okay, so for the team that is struggling to get onto the patch, maybe that's a way for DMG to pick it simple, transition it over to this patch. So when you look into Liam Cole, we talked about the idea of Aphelios being a struggle. Even HipBrain told us about it before an interview, like how bad Aphelios was. We got an Aphelios last week, and he won a game. So do you think like he needs to adapt that Aphelios, or is that a window for this new patch to bring in the Aphelios?
The Aphelios, yeah, it can be decent. I just think, I just hope they don't go for the same angle as last week where they picked it into Varus, and I feel like that was just a complete comfort pick because it isn't that great. It's so easy to form a team which just outranges Aphelios. You just end up something, a common pairing at the moment. You see in the LCK, the LPL is just Varus, Corki, and you just think of what an Aphelios does with the red-white gun. You just get slammed by missiles and arrows consistently, so there's just not much counterplay with all the meta champions. So I don't want to see it blinded. Maybe if we get a bunch of AD pinchers, maybe in terms of bans, we could see it there.
So like my issue with the Aphelios is it needs too much time, it needs too much gold to really take off. Like,
I agree.
6-item Aphelios is always going to outperform a 6-item Varus, right? But the thing about the Varus is with the lethality items, they're so cheap. They spike, each one is like a major power spike to the Varus's initial power. Even getting the serrated is like huge for lane. So like every little base, every little back that their Varus takes is a pretty significant step up in power and output and pressure in the lane. Where the Aphelios really needs 2 to 3 items to really come online. 3 is that kind of golden number, and I think the game moves way too quick. I think the builds move way too fast for Aphelios to comfortably get those 3 items, because you have to be constantly thinking about the Void Grubs in the top side, the dragons that are spawning up in response. It's not that meta where you have that like reckless style of ADC, like the old school reckless, which is just farm on Sivir till like 300 CS with Avarice Blade and just like basically hit 6 items as quick as possible. The meta doesn't move like that. You have to be very proactive on the map. Varus offers a lot of poke, a lot of utility with the root as well, and it's such a cheaper build, which then makes you able to kind of play into these objectives. Where Aphelios is a very selfish and a very greedy champion. Not call him Liam Cole selfish, but I think the champion is. And the meta doesn't really reflect that. If you can make it work, of course it's going to happen, right? Like, if you can stall out the enemy team and just get the gold onto your Aphelios, you're always going to scale like a madman into late game. But I just don't think, especially for DMG, they're equipped to stall out some of these better teams like this, especially a team like Natives. So they need to play that early pressure and try and match Natives in the early game.
Yeah, I just want to build off of that. That was actually exactly right. They picked Aphelios, and the enemy Varus plus range champion would just slow stack waves because they have full wave control with the range advantage, eventually crashing a big wave and zoning the Aphelios of a bunch of XP and CS because of the threat of the dive, right? It's just too hard to play against, so I don't really want to see the angle. There's a reason we have a bunch of lane dominant picks down bot sides because the lane is super volatile right now, and it's all about playing for lane.
Okay, so I did get some information about DMG lost one of their players because there's no electricity on his entire city. So
Told you it was a slam dunk.
It's not for him. It's like the entire city went down out of a sudden. So we're waiting for the information to understand what we can do.
Which player?
The top laner from
LVS.
DMG, yes.
Okay,
LVS.
you know what? I'm going to say it. That is not that bad. Okay, I mean, most of the time, top laners, not because of LVS, but top laners in general are kind of irrelevant to the team. They just kind of got to sit there and farm, and it's to me, it's as a top laner, I have to say it's one of the most plug and play roles. So, at least it's not the jungler, right? That's my angle.
There's some pain in your voice there, my guy.
Yes.
My role sucks, and I hate it.
That was rough. So until we get some more information about what we can do with this first game, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with more information to you. So don't go anywhere. I'll see you soon.
Break it down, break it down. Step on the gas, let's get out of town. We're gonna break out and have some fun. We're gonna do what you never done. Oh yeah, yeah. Come on, take your body with you. It's a money weekend. Everything we wanna, we go do. We go do. It's leisure, we go do.
Both of them now gone, the soul has been denied, but the fight not yet decided. Then in the front line though, takes so much damage in the backline. Yankee having fun with his opponent. Triple kill for Rusty Sniper. He's made Jin look like a champion, and it's the 8th. Sniper! Rusty! Sniper, man!
Alex allowed to run rapid across him, but just as the moment is perfect, begins to dash on forward to the Darkin Blades. Execute everyone. Built dead, Alex dead, Edford dead again. Agony Pain about to live up to his namesake, and he's dead as well. Here he comes. They're going on in. Trying to find an angle in. Big man. Lenny! Tries to find some time for Lenny with a fate sealed that might just do it for the game. A double kill for Pashy. Pike drags them all into the dark, dark waters.
He goes back in! That is insanity for Verdant! The triple kill for Aeon, that's the ace for Verdant!
And welcome back. I told you it was a small break. They found a solution, so they're bringing in the sub. Obviously, we're talking about the least impactful lane, according to Aragon.
You know, maybe I was kind of capping. Top lane's pretty good right now. I'm a little bit worried too because he's going to be... it's Smurfy on the other side, right? A Native's top lane is really damn good, so we'll have to see how it goes.
It really depends. So we jump into the champion select, and the information is they're going to lose a few bans according to this.
Sorry, Archer, I just realized I misread it and gave you bad information. They're losing their 4th ban, their first ban of the 2nd rotation. It's only 1 ban. I'm sorry. Before you look like a fool, I thought I should jump in and tell you because I gave you bad information.
This is what happens when you trust people.
I mean, to be fair, like, you listen to a man who's barely able to stand right now.
You're not even standing. Talking about the standings, DMG and 0-4 looking for their first victory. Caps jumps in as the sub. So we go into the champion select. As stated, they're going to lose one of their bans. It's going to be the 4th one, apparently, according to Hiprain. You just listen to him. Don't count it in. So Karma and the Zine are going to be taken out. What else could we be looking for right now, gentlemen?
Okay, so on red side, you have a lot of kind of set bans. I don't know how the how Cabs changes up the top lane priorities, because before this, their top laner was LVS was playing a bunch of carry top laners, but maybe we just see an Ornn, you know, now in a secure early. Anyway, we have a bunch of flex picks on red side that are typically must bans, like Ashe. Ashe is extremely dominant. Otherwise, you just first pick that on blue side. So generally at this patch, you kind of pick what you like and target a little too, especially those flexes.
Yeah, I expect it probably to be a relatively standard ban phase there. They're not turning the Ashe taken away. Final ban coming in from Natives. Obviously, they could look to try and just pinch out Carbs a little bit and just keep them out the game, but I think they'll probably just play a little bit more standard. Like you said, Smurfy a very capable top laner, so why would you really worry too much about it, especially when you're playing versus a field player? So I think they're probably going to look more at the standard stuff on that front. Obviously, the Varus is open, so if they take this away, they don't actually ban it, which to me says that's them calling out Liam Cole, saying, we know you don't play this champ. You only want to play Aphelios. And DMG actually calling the bluff here. We do have answers to this Varus coming in from a lot of different teams. So I'll be interested to see what the game plan is going to be on that front.
I think typically your go-to answers are stuff like you could play a Kalista lane, you could also play Jhin into it. That's been a common one. BDS Ice likes that a lot. I also want a secure of Maokai. I think Maokai is probably one of the best champs on the patch. He is unbelievably broken, and he has been for the past 3 years, so I would like a secure of that. You have other options, like maybe you want to secure the Cassante early on. Doesn't look like they're going to go for any of that, and instead you're just going to secure the Orianna Benulu. That's something he has played a bunch too.
Still not secured quite now. It's obviously like being taken care over. There you go. The pick comes in, giving you a little bit more time to also think. And the Ezreal comes in. Just as you predicted on those pictures, now it's a flex. So where is it going? We don't know.
Super flexible.
Yeah, we've seen a bunch of Ezreal, and in my opinion, it hasn't looked the best. It kind of just doesn't look like a great champion, but Natives seem to value it. This has to be a flex for the value, unless they just think it's so broken, and Rusty Sniper likes it a lot. But Orianna secured. I want to see some nice ball delivery. A lot of really nice ball deliveries in the meta at the moment. Stuff like Vi, stuff like Xin Zhao, who you can ult on Ori, then dash, and it's a really nice duo. But I imagine now they'll probably match mid lanes, because otherwise the role gets pinched a little bit too hard. There's the Syndra, really good matchup into Orianna. You outrange. A little bit out of the meta. Haven't seen it in a long time. No Corkies. No Azir is going to be picked up because Azir's banned. And it's also not that great of a matchup. And I imagine here now you secure your support. I think Renata, Resident Value, although you do get a bit outranged by the Ezreal.
I'm pretty sure this is definitely going to be Ezreal bot lane because Rusty is super good at that. His champion he feels very comfortable on. So I actually expect Native's last pick to be their support, especially the DMG locking in their support. And the support pool has been heavily pinched out at this point. So expect to see top lane and jungle priority come down in this next ban phase. Unless Natives just feel comfortable being able to play anything with this Ezreal and want to get themselves as solid as a jungler as possible. I don't particularly like the Ivern. I think obviously that was a bit of a hover, but right now, Ivan not particularly good at all the objective game stuff they're going to be going for, and it looks like the attention has gone towards the jungle, locking in that Vi, and like Aragon said, this really enables that ball delivery service. You ult onto like the Syndra or the Varus, the shockwave goes off immediately after as well, and obviously the Xin Zhao's good at it, but he does have a bit of anti-synergy because his ult then scatters everyone away from the Ori ball. So I actually really like the Vi with this. This will say very good at kind of fast jungle clear, can move onto the camps and can very quickly clear out the void grubbies themselves. So I expect this ban phase here to be very probably just top lane focused. Oh no, sorry, jungle focused, as they're going to take away the Jarvan. On the other side, I think it's probably going to be very support focused, as there's already 3 supports taken out.
Yeah, I think Rel rises up in priority. Good matchup into the Rakan. Also a great duo with the Vi. Rel engage a super noob. You can just press R and win. Nautilus is also another option. It's not the most ideal lane, but these are all matchups that are great. You could also pick Renata. Bard has risen up in priority. Is also a good duo with the Ezreal into immobile carries. So pick a little. What do you want to ban? What do you not want to face? Because that's probably going to pick on R4. However, they're going to opt for target bans against Smurfy. He has played a bunch of Aatrox.
I mean, they actually don't ban that, so that's their only ban. They can't do another ban here. They were meant to not ban there, but
yeah, that makes sense because
so their fifth ban won't exist. So they're the only 4 bans that DMG have. On the other side, natives now they can probably just look to pinch that jungle a little bit more. The Xin Zhao, like you said earlier, very effective, but they're actually going to go towards the Zac, something which can kind of be a major kind of engage, because you've got the Rakan as your only engage right now. And the problem with Rakan is, he's quite squishy. Like you said, if someone like a Nautilus or a Rel gets picked up, they can just turn it on its head really quickly onto that Rakan. So obviously this ban not happening here for DMG, and we'll see what this next pick phase is going to look like. Obviously natives will be picking first. Expect this to probably just be their support, and then for them to get counter pick for Smurfy in the top lane.
You could also pick a double range bot side with the Ezreal, right?
Yeah.
Other supports that have risen up, and you just blast the Rakan out the water. You can't get through the lane phase, and you secure priority that way. Also helps out the early for the Vi, but it's really up to them. You have a lot of flexibility rather. So Shavik Dami. He did play Rel a bunch. It was just a little bit odd. Nah, gonna go for Leona. That's another option, right? Leona, Nautilus, Rel, all these engage options there.
I'm so happy it's Bard. So, oh, damn it. Damn it, they changed in the last second. I was about to say, I like the Bard because the Bard rotates.
Don't talk about them.
Oh, that was like a half a second change, man. Tragic. Leona's fine. Leona obviously gives more engage on top of that Vi as well. Obviously, Bard very good for kind of getting those early objectives because of how much they rotate. As DMG just going to lock the Viego in for the jungle. And like you predicted, the Ornn here for Carbs. So final pick now coming in for Smurfy. Could take something very aggressive in the lane, like a split pusher or a kind of a brawler in the top side. Or they could just match it and pick a front line for their team.
Oh, no.
So they go for the Trundle. That's rough. That's rough for Carbs.
Yeah, that's absolutely brutal. That is, Trundle's one of the best champions in top lane right now in most elos. He has a huge, 54% win rate or something absolutely crazy. And into Ornn, it makes a bunch of sense. It was kind of clear that he'd probably pick a tank, so red side natives is incredibly potent into the side of DMG for this game. What they've drafted here is a kind of reset composition with a bunch of upfront single target bursts for the side of DMG. You have Syndra R to secure Viego resets, as well as Varus R to lock down the initial pick, and then you also have the single target of Rakan. Everyone throws everything on one carry, Viego gets the reset. On the flip side, you have a bunch of front to back, very standard board delivery. Go in and just play front to back, and you can also play 4-1 with the Trundle. So a clash of different styles. It'll be interesting how this goes out.
It's one of those. Well, it's a losing lane on the top side, so put your jungler onto the mid lane, bot lane, give Liam Cole or Agony Pain some sort of advantage. And Cabs, just play safe, because if you don't get the the wave management on the top line, it's gonna be rough. Smurfy is just gonna split push all day.
So I actually think that this game really comes down to for DMG for their jungle and their mid lane to be very on it. Because if you get those 6 Void Grubs onto Trundle absolutely melts towers at all stages of the game, basically, especially with the Grubs. So I would really like to see them use the pressure, but they're going to be able to build on this Syndra, rotate around and make sure that these Grubs don't get picked up. The great thing about Ornn is even if Ornn loses lane, they still have impact. The Brittle is a very powerful tool. You've also got that the ult is incredibly useful in teamfight scenarios. They've got a bit of a brick wall front line. Obviously, the Ornn probably not going to have quite as much gold and as impact as maybe they would if they had like a free farming lane. But I do think that DMG haven't set up a bad team here. That's the main thing. Am I confident in them? Honestly, no. I think natives have proven themselves to be very capable. DMG have made a lot of mistakes, but I will say Liam Cole on the Varus, massive improvement from the Aphelios. Big fan of this for them. They actually will have a lane that they can have some pressure in on the bottom side of the map. I feel like they've given themselves some really good tools, and I'd like to be proven wrong here. I really would.
On one side, it's a team to keep on the top of the table. On the other side is to get their first W. Well, let's see with the casters what they think. It is with Duckling, and there's a fox in the middle.
Thank you very much, Astrom, and welcome over here, ladies and gentlemen, to the caster desk. Exciting game number 1, Foxtrot. I think that is fair to say. Both you and I feel very bad for Caps up in the top lane. Banning that Karma away, who is a support champ currently played in the top lane position. Forcing him to then play something safe like the Ornn and then counter-picking it. Ruthless from Natives and Caps. I'm excited to see if he can survive.
Yeah, it's going to be a little tough, I would say here. DMG looking for their first win of the split. And their top laners, City, doesn't pay their electricity bill, and the universe shuts them down. So, yeah, a little bit crappy here, getting your support reserve up in that top side. They have stuck him on a champion that doesn't need a lot of tools to be effective, but at the same time, you're playing into Trundle as a tank, and that is going to be very difficult to do. Try and lose as gracefully as possible as you can top side. I'm somewhat saying this with rose-tinted goggles. But I guess a plus side here, if we're going to draw a positive out of this situation.
Okay, go on.
Is like your game plan becomes a lot simpler if you're swift on that Viego, because you just ignore topside. You just never go topside. You just let him do his thing. And so there's less things to think about. You only have to worry about Syndra mid and, getting some plays with bot lane.
You know what? I have a feeling now that Yaki will be saying hello to the top side quite a lot then. Just trying to see if he can get his top laner. His Smurf, a very capable top laner in our league. I was excited to see him step up into NLC Division 1. He's looked good so far, so same goes for the rest of Natives really, right? Mm-hmm. One of our many first place teams at the moment. And to me, I'm excited to see if they can carry on that good form for week 2. I didn't think they were particularly incredible in week 1. Looked very good week 2. But can they now steady the ship and find consistently good performances? That's what I want to see today. And especially when they go up against the only team not to win a game, who's now playing with a support player, who's a substitute as well, in the top lane position, where you have the counter pick. Natives, they must win this game, otherwise it will be, quite frankly, a bit embarrassing for them.
Yeah, just a tad, yeah. It's tough. Like, today actually marks the halfway point of our regular season here in NLC. And if you're trying to, from DMG's perspective, you don't have a win yet, and if you're looking to kind of turn that around and actually have some aspirations for playoffs, then you can't go the entire first half without a win. But the odds are stacked against them, unfortunately, for this game with the situation that they find themselves in. But I would agree, honestly, with you, Duckling, that for me, Natives, we've got a few teams that are tied at 3-1. At the tippy top of the standings here in NLC, and I would argue that Natives have looked probably the least secure out of those teams that are 3-1 right now. So if there is a top team to upset, if you're DMG, I think it could happen with Natives. Having said that, don't get me wrong, I still think this is heavily Natives favored, and I thought that before we even had the situation in that top lane for DMG. So yeah, it's going to be a tricky one, but hey, we'll see what can happen here. And maybe, playing around Liam Cole on Varus, which is a very strong pick in the meta right now. Maybe some sparks can fly.
Yeah, something needs to happen here. And I really like the point, for Liam Cole, getting him off that Aphelios. We know he's good in Aphelios. We know he's a good player, but Aphelios isn't in the meta. And while I initially, when they played against Lionsgate, liked the idea for going comfort up against such a good team, it didn't work out then. It didn't work out in the following 3 games as well. So, as we see a very weird start here for DMG, trying to make that level 1 invade happen, I am happy to see them go back to something more meta, because I have no doubt Liam Cole should be able to play this very well. Persson loves to play the Rakano. Getting Agony Pain, he has played the Syndra once to split, off the Orianna as well. Hopefully allows us to see more of him, because I feel like there is a lot to be delivered from this DMG roster. They just haven't really been able to show any of it due to being locked into these, we're playing these safe champions, our comfort picks, and they are not doing anything proactive.
Yeah, comfort pick has been a bit of a crutch, I say, for DMG so far. They have picked champions that, they believe they're good on individually, and I do think there is a certain amount of merit to that as a strategy.
Yeah.
Especially at this level here in the NLC, but it really just hasn't worked out for them. So it's specifically in the bot side there, getting a different pick here, not the Aphelios, but instead the Varus, who has been so contested so far in the start of this split here. Varus and Jhin being our two most popular ADCs being played. We'll see if he can pick something up instead.
Yeah. As something that is very usual in this current meta, trading early on despite you having a melee support.
All level 2s.
Trading like this. Oh, good connect from Shoei Katami here. Getting a bit of damage back and forth. Rusty Sniper now locked up. Ignite coming through, forcing the cleanse as well.
Okay.
Could the flash come through? Oh, Halo Varus or Halo Blaze just comes off cooldown. Halo Varus should be upgraded, or is already upgraded. To very similar names there as they use those to poke out Rusty Sniper, who does still have the flash. I'm holding my breath here because it feels like that underlying all of these small trades could be an all-in. Pearson has the flash. Does he want to go for it? Rusty Sniper might just lose his soon with Shift. Looking to rotate in as well. Level 3. Shoei Katami now locked up. Damage not coming through as Liam Cole goes for the ambitious play. Looking for Rusty Sniper. Not forcing any cooldowns, but Shoei Katami forced to use both of the potions.
That seemed
And
exceptionally
Shift has disappeared.
risky.
Yeah, but they saw Shift on a wall.
They did, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, they know he's there. Okay,
Shift,
here
though,
it comes.
Forced to flash out, looking to get out of the situation. Able to do so, but loses time, loses his flash. Nula, though, rotating down. Agony Pain wants to punish this game already. Balancing on these small micro plays. Agony Pain forces the flash, is very low himself. Now he needs to be a bit careful because Yaki could look for the play here in the mid lane. He has the flash of his own. And despite no one dying, a couple of very tense minutes here, Foxtrot.
Yeah, flash is being blown left, right, and center. I don't think Nulu really should have lost his flash there. Like, he knew exactly what was happening everywhere on the map. There was so much information. And I think he just got a little bit greedy on that trade onto Agony Pain in the mid side. Remember, this Orianna pick is somewhat of a... Obviously, natives want to pick it for themselves, but it's also a very good draft strategy against DMG because Agony Pain loves Orianna. It's very good on this champion. So it is nice to pick it away, but also you have to remember, have to respect the fact that, you know, Agony Pain is going to know about all of her trade patterns and the like, so can't be disrespecting him in that mid.
And this is where I really wanted to see Agony Pain shine in the beginning. Obviously, I want to see him translate his good skill and individual play into a team lead, but Foxtrap, he's been very successful in our own Danish ecosystem in the Red Bull solo queues, these 1v1 tournaments, qualifying for LAN finals, first to reach Challenger on EU West a couple of years ago. He has such great individual skill and laning ability, but he hasn't really been able to show that here. He's always gone even, despite him being put under pressure every now and then. But I want to see him find a solo kill here and there, gain a lead on his own, and then utilize that to gain a lead for his team. And here would be such a good way to show it. Without that flash on Nulu, maybe even Shift wants to help out.
Indeed. There's no cleanse or anything of the like either. So one combo from a Syndra could certainly spell danger for the Orianna. But this is, I like this a lot. I like this a lot. He's on half HP. Jake is here to cover.
Yeah, Smurfer knows what's happening. Shift realizes it as well. Without the flash though, could he still be in trouble? Caps tanks the turret. I'm unsure of why. Big mini wave though gets the crash, and I assume that's the main point, allowing Caps to get that reset.
Yeah, still good stuff right there. That's honestly quite impressive, being in that position there. If you're the Orn, you know, Caps being the reserve support, having to fill in for his teammate here as the original top laner not able to. Had a bit of technical issues on his side. If you just joined us and missed all of the delays and palaver we had, the standard top lane for DMG isn't in the game. His City's electric is down. So yes.
That is a bummer. But DMG now fielding 4 Danes on that roster. Had to get that in there somehow, you know. As Camps, you said, substitute support player. So playing off-road as well, while already being the substitute on the team. Really so flexing his muscles. And as long as he gets out of this laning phase somewhat unscathed, I will be very proud of him, without a shadow of a doubt. Now though, natives looking to start up this first Drake, that is the Ocean Drake. There are also the Void Drops on the map, remember, in the new season. But so far Shift not looking to contest those, would rather look for something on this bottom side. Needs to be a bit careful. He could walk into a bad situation here. Shoei Katami knows where he is. Is the Zenith Blade there? It is not. That was pixels off. Very close to connecting. In the end though, Shift able to get that recon off safely. and the Drake just goes over to natives.
That's the question now, though, right? With that dragon being down, it does allow natives to focus more on the top side for those void grubs. Ornn probably not going to be able to give as much in a little skirmish here compared to Trundle now that they're level 6. But it's not undoable, unlikely. I don't know, it's not particularly good English, but you know, I do think there's potential here. But if you're DMG and you've just lost dragon and then you lose the void grubs top side as well, you're kind of just surrendering a little bit too much in the early stages of this game right here.
Yeah, it feels like Shift constantly looking for opportunities but struggling to find them. Especially on the bot lane, he's been poking and prodding away, just trying to see if he can find the right way to engage. Now spotted on the water swirl, level 4 to the level 5 of Yaki. So behind on CS, behind on XP, and that might not have been too bad had he been able to find a couple of successful ganks, but he has not really been able to do that. And with Smurfy, obviously, as he should, controlling the way the top lane is going, is able to go down and get those grubs as well. So getting both neutral objectives, fantastic start here for one of our league leaders. And DMG losing this, I think they are somewhat fine with it. It is expected because your top lane is not going to have any prior.
Yeah, that is true. I kind of think, you know, DMG resolved themselves to their fate here a little bit. But it is, I don't know, I'm just... It's not looking too hot already right here. Whole control of the map going over to natives. You have to think that maybe there's opportunities for DMG to pick up a little bit more, put up more of a fight in this situation, but it's just not been happening. And you know, I am a bit worried for Shift specifically on this Viego. Falling behind, he's just hit level 6 now at 8 minutes. You know, Viego isn't a support style champion. You know, he is more of a carry style champion or in skirmishes, with resets and stuff. Yeah, he could look for a
Rusty Sniper stops his back, but Shokatami does not wait topside as well. Something happened there, but eyes on the bot lane for now as Rusty Sniper set to fall, and as soon as you criticize Shift, he's finally able to find that window and get himself on the board.
I was worried about him. I didn't criticize him, Duckling. I just said he had to be able to find
that is actually true. That is true.
It was just motivation, right? Because as soon as I said that, bam, gets his first kill of the game.
Shift? A bit too over-eager here, probably. Nulu? No mana really, so can't quite look for anything. Yaki is coming down as well, but Shift, solo, Shockwave, connect for the follow-up. Not quite there, he's still alive. Shift, can he get the resets? 1, 2, coming through. It is DMG winning the fight. They'll claim 3 as well. Rusty Sniper, the last of the targets to be found. No summoner spells, no way out. And it is a phenomenal play for DMG, who finds fall.
That's exactly what DMG want from these fights, these gritty skirmishes, the resets from Shift on Viego. I can't believe he didn't die in that situation. 4 for 0. 4 for 0 from that play. Absolutely insane stuff. Agony Pain, though. That scat of the week, the stun that he threw out there was absolutely ridiculous. Insane stuff right there. Like, he actually interrupted Yaki's Q as well. 3-man stun. Beautifully played right there from DMG.
That was fantastic. I hope we get a replay of that, just seeing it one more time. I like the idea of Nulu because he knew he had so little mana. He himself had to flash into the fight to look for the kill because he could use the shockwave, but he couldn't throw out the ball as well. So he went for the commitment, but they just didn't have enough burst. You're an early game Orianna, and without the QW damage as well, that shockwave doesn't do much. And then they just weren't able to get the damage down. As you said, Agony Pain crucially splitting up the follow-up that was gonna be there from natives, and then playing it front to back, 1 by 1. DMG able to come out on top. We were yet to really be able to talk about what happened in that top side. Something's happened here as well because Caps has gotten a kill. Confused about where he got that from.
I think
because we have been keeping our eyes on what's happened on the other side of the map as Agony Pain.
Yeah.
Go on, Foxtrap.
Well, I think what happened was they may have dove him from the kill feed. I think Trundle via dove the Ornn, and then Ornn may have got a kill back. I honestly, again, I didn't really see it because we were looking at that crazy stuff happening on our screen instead. But that may have been what happened there instead.
Oof, such a good trade here for Agony Pain. Doesn't overcommit, knows there's 2 people just waiting for him to step 1 pixel too far forward, so not over eager, reads it well. Now he has a small lead, hopefully he can push it into more. That's what I wanted to see from him. And so far he's getting the lane control that he has been aiming for. A Shift, feeling confident getting 3 kills in his back pocket. He was 800 gold, or maybe 500 gold behind. Now he's 1.2k gold ahead. But to just summarize how this laning phase is gone, DMG very happy with the state of this. Yes, natives lead in the top side, but only 800 gold. Considering you're playing with a substitute top laner who has been counterpicked as well, this is totally fine. You can work with this. And look, Smurfit, obviously in control of the lane, doesn't care what Caps does, but Caps surviving. He's doing fine for now.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
Smurfit?
Smurfit needs to be a little bit careful. There's no one around here
Has
to
to
pick him
subjugate
up.
though.
Yeah, he'll be able to walk away. That tower, though, not long for this world, should be falling down relatively quickly. But DMG able to secure that dragon on the bot side instead. And now, moving up to the Void Grubblies themselves. Seeing a bit of a mirrored play here, whereas before it was natives getting all of the objectives. And DMG really changing the tune of this game after that skirmish down in the bot side jungle.
I think they do want to contest his Caps. It's without his ultimate. Ornhorn not there to help them out. But they've gotten 2 Void Grabs that ensures that there won't be any of these Voidlings spawning. Shokatami has rotated up as well. Same goes for Persson. Supports meeting each other up here. Natives able to claim one of them, but for DMG, they are happy to get those 2 and the second Drake on the board. As we've talked about earlier, Foxcroft Natives, the big favorites here. First place in our league alongside a couple of other teams. DMG, the only team without a win. But the changes in the draft and the proactiveness, you could say, DMG have been the ones looking for plays on the bot side, has worked out so far and given them this 2k gold lead.
Really impressive stuff, honestly, from DMG so far. That skirmish obviously blowing this game wide open, changing the course. I also want to give a shout out to Shift, because personally watching these games up until this point, I'm going to pause here because maybe we get a little bit of... I don't know, there's more people around. Shift isn't actually cool.
Yeah, holding my breath here to see how this turns out. It feels like this could be another big deciding fight. Look, Agony painting down to half. Same goes for Shift. And they're not united, so it's hard to find the burst. Shokatami able to flash away. Now the target is Shift. He has no way out. The flash can't even be used in time. The shutdown onto Rusty Sniper, a correct target to give the goal to. Now the Hex Gates being taken as they want Agony Pain as well. He's without a flash and without a way out. Nunu should surely find it with one more combo and an auto attack like clockwork. He finds the solo kill. And now he claims Natives back on even footing in the game.
Yeah, that's just a little bit too much. A bit of an overstep for DMG. It's not terrible to be walking up into that position in the jungle. Unfortunately, Liam Cole wasn't there. He was still shoving a wave in bot side. He was attacking the tower. And essentially, it was just a 3 versus 4. And I do think DMG could take that fight, but obviously not when you're a man down. And most crucially, they missed blowing someone up to begin with, which is why someone like Viego Syndra is a really nice combo, because, you know, Syndra just presses one button and someone dies, basically. But you want to blow people up fast so you can get the resets and then start going as Viego. That's how you take over these skirmishes. And without that happening, it just meant that Shift was not able to do what he wanted to do. And really nice stuff there for Natives to claw back into this game.
Yeah, Natives back on an even footing. They'll definitely be happy about this, especially as Rusty Sniper with that shutdown goal getting ever so slightly closer to that 2-item spike. Might have to hold on that point as Nulu looks to be the target for the Shift, but from Shift or for Shift, but can't quite connect with that Spectral more. And in the end, this takes a bit of poke himself. So the game is at an even state. Neutral objectives slowly but surely coming up. Rift Herald being taken as we speak. Second Drake for both teams, spawning in 1 minute and 30 seconds as well. So the pace is slowing down a bit. DMD doesn't want to contest this Drake instead, or not the Drake, sorry, the Herald. Rather, they would put their attention towards this bottom lane tier 1. Looks like Liam Cole will be able to play this and continue to build on his own lead.
They're putting a lot of eggs into the bot side basket here, trying to catch out Smurfit.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get something from it as well. Smurfit surely will go down. The Heartbreaker comes through. And that will secure the kill. Now, do they want more? Yes is the emphatic answer. They are gonna try and get it as well. The question is, the damage, is it there? And that's answered instantly as well. Shokatami set to go down. Didn't have the flash. Hadn't realized actually Pain rotated up. He was there to secure the kill, giving Shift more gold in his back pocket, more control over the map. It is clear where DMG's focus is. It is on that bot side, while they're leaving Cabs out to dry. But he is surviving, and they are certainly happy with that as well.
Cabs is doing really well, just on his own little island there in the top side. But it's a poor move there, a bit disappointing from Natives, extending that olive branch unnecessarily so to DMG. You just, if you're Smurfer, you know your entire team is focused around top side because Herald's up and that's what your team's gone for. you have to respect the fact that you could be by yourself in that situation. Sharikatami also just donating another free kill to DMG. Like these are the things that make you fall behind, you know, in games. Like there is no reason for you to be there. You do not have to pass that way through the jungle to try and get to your tower. Just a bit unnecessary for natives, as this third dragon now is looking to be spawning up soon, and maybe a little bit of contest here from both teams.
Yeah, seems like they both want this and are willing to go for it as well. One of the first time we're seeing this in our game. Nulu does have the shockwave. Can he find the right window? Or will it be DMG who managed to pull the trigger? Caps finally reunited with his team for the first time in this game. Good pillar. Slows them all down. Nulu looks for the shockwave. Can't get a two-man CC though. Can they get in? It's a 4-man shockwave! And as soon as DMG had hope, natives punch back. They find 3 and they'll claim the second Drake of the game.
That is so brutal by natives. Perfect engage by Sharikatami on the Leona. Oh my goodness, that's sort of fair. Locked down 2 with the hard stun, the rest of them with the slow, and Orianna ulti just mopping them up. That is something you can say about Native's team comp for sure, is they can pull the trigger when they want to. They have a lot of ways to set up Orianna with those shockwaves. You just saw one of them there, completely wiping DMG. Ooh, is he going? No.
Liam Cole? Oh, Yaki realizes.
He's right, yeah.
Saw him clearing out the ward.
Thought about it.
Yeah. Cheeky play from Liam Cole. Great read from Yaki. And that's a bit of a bummer there, obviously. A natives predicted myself. That helps me get away from the -2. Screw you, Hipring. I will get back on him at this point. But the game has delivered so far. And regardless, I want to make this very clear. At this point already, even if DMG doesn't get the win, they are showing positive strides. They have not looked this good all split. But natives, they're showing resilience, they're able to bounce back, and there's a reason they're at the top of our standings.
Natives absolutely have done very well to find their windows to get back into this game after giving DMG, honestly, a little bit too much in this game. And I have to feel for DMG, like, you really do think this is your best game of the split and you don't even have your main roster. It's like, damn, what could we have done if we just did have our main roster here? Unfortunately, though, it is what it is, and you're just trying to make things work where they can. And things are certainly not over at this point here for either team. You know, a lot of combos still to be had in these team fights. And I spoke about pulling the trigger for natives. DMG are certainly good at that as well. So keep your eyes on these picks, on the engages for these team fights. They certainly could be explosive as well. Nulu
what does worry me, though? Yeah, Nulu.
Well,
he might be caught out here. That worries me a bit. But also, 2 items on him now. He's feeling confident. He knows he can one-shot pretty much anyone, and Shift might be his target. The shockwave just barely goes wide. It's damage still enough, not quite. As Shift continues to run with the Baron spawning soon, he does not want to give up his life. Taken down to half. We got a taste of what a 2 item Orianna could do there. If the shockwave had connected, surely the kills would have come through as well. Able to steal away that grump. It is natives that are in control. You can feel it on the map. And DMG waiting and biding that time until they find the right window to look to punch back.
Mistakes are only really mistakes when you get punished for it. I do think Nulu's positioning there was way too forward and certainly a mistake, but DMG didn't go and collapse on him, and as such, not only did they not get the benefit of killing Nulu, they actually got collapsed on themselves. Not ideal. And while all that was happening topside in the pure 1v1 bot too, Cabs and Smurfy were going at it. And when I say going at it, I mean Trundle was obliterating the tower and Cabs was trying to stop him, but Smurfy just did not care. It was literally under tower. They were on top of each other on the minimap, and then the tower died. It was really quite brutal. And to be honest, like, yeah,
I feel bad for Cabs, man. He's trying his best to stop him from slip pushing. He is there to respond, but the thing is, he just doesn't have the damage to do anything. And the gold lead is building as well, because Smurf is able to get all the minions, get all the solo gold for taking down the turrets. Yeah. Cabs has by no means performed badly here. He's done the best that he can. He's just put in such a hard situation, or very, very difficult one to deal with. And the team hasn't really been there to help him in his endeavors. I think that's fair to say.
Oh, absolutely. This is it. Rock on a hard place at this point, though, for DMG. If you go bot side to help out Cabs, then you're just going to lose Baron straight away. So you ignore bot side so you can defend Nash, and then you lose your towers. It's a tough situation to be in. DMG, though, now looking for the engage. They've grouped up.
The human skull blade popped. That movement speed enough to get Liam Cole out to safety. Eyes on Shorikitami and Noodle to be the one to find the big engages. Obviously, Yaki could just point someone out in the crowd and say, hey, I'm going for you with that assault and battery. Or cease and desist, I think now is the current aim, actually. In the end, though, none of those triggers were pulled. The natives rotate back to their usual positions. Smurfer is about to deliver a present to the bot side of DMG by taking down likely another turret here, despite Caps being here to respond. What can the man do? Oh, did they just steal that?
No,
Oh, they didn't.
Almost. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks for DMG.
Can we go bot and watch this? I mean, look
mean,
at this. What can he do? He's trying his best to stop him from taking the turret.
Yeah, he's doing bits. You know, he's got some anti-heal at this point as well.
Oh, that's good. Great purchase. Great purchase.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't really need to slip up much, if at all, and Smurfy will just take the tower. You know, it really is quite gross, quite hideous here for the side of DMG to deal with. I mean, this is the benefit. I know this is going to sound really odd, but the benefit of losing so many towers in a lane is like you've kind of run out of easy towers for the enemy team to take. The only tower now for natives and for Smurfy to attack in that bot side is the inhibitor tower, right? And the closer the towers are positioned to your base, to your fountain, the easier they are to defend. So there is that, I guess. It's still, you know, a bit tricky to navigate for sure, but hopefully DMG will be able to have an easier time of things, at least now defending those towers bot side.
The positive, though, of taking all those turrets is all the control that it gives you around those neutral objectives. And just look at it in full effect here. Smurfer looking to catch out Shift. But the more important thing is that their soul point has already spawned. DMG can't get nowhere near the pit. Yaki is taking it slowly but surely at his own pace. No need to rush it because no one will be here to try and steal it. As Smurfer, let's see what happens bot lane. Caps able to get out. Smurfer might just try and run him down here. What's going on down there? Just another trade as Agony Pain will look to trade back by getting a top in tier 1.
Yeah, I don't think Smurfy even used ult in that exchange and almost put Cabs on half health. It's kind of gross, but like you say, Agony Pain's going to get a tower topside. It's something, I guess. Nothing great, but it's something. Although you do lose your mid tier 2 in exchange. You could argue like something like that mid tower is probably going to fall down anyway, but I don't know, man. It's... I'm not sure. Syndra obviously is quite a significant wave player, part of your defense squad. But really only losing her out to the split pushing in the side lane.
Holding my breath really to see what happens within the next 5 minutes, because now it seems like their attention really has turned towards this Baron. And with Smurfy pushing on the bot side, they have all the reason to believe they should be able to start. And look at how quickly he takes down
So disgusting.
I mean, what can Caps do here? He's trying his best. Oh, he even gets cancelled. Oh, he looks for the kill as well now.
Yeah,
the ultimate subjugate has come out, but as they see that Shift is in the area, they turn their eyes towards the Baron. They are dragging DMG wide, and now, what can they really do? They have to give up an inhibitor here. Liam Cole, nowhere needs to respond. Same goes for the rest of DMG. Did they seriously just lose Baron for that? It feels like it's all or nothing, and they have to do something, but it is nothing they will gain from this play because Agony Pain already dead, unless Shift has something to say in the backline. They found Nulu. Can they take him down? Yes, they can! And here comes the rest of DMG. They found 3. They'll get the resets. They'll get the fight. I thought they gained nothing, but instead it is everything. They will be claiming the Baron as the ultimate prize.
Shift absolute masterclass in that team fight. He flashes over the wall to catch Rusty Sniper, gets a fat shutdown from it, and then just from there it's reset after reset. DMG, I thought they had no business at all contesting anything there. I thought they were just gonna lose everything, lose bot side, lose Nash. Instead they come up on the team fight. They're gonna come up on the Nash here as well. Perfect response by these guys. Excellent stuff. Hovering around there as well so that Agony Pain gets his Baron buff too. So nicely done there for DMG, and there is hope yet for this team.
There is still hope. And in the team fights, we now know for sure that they can certainly come out on top. Shift doing a lot of work there despite Agony Pain being taken down early. I thought it was all over, but in the end, it was only his death warrior being written, not the one for DMG. They are still alive, still kicking. But they have to gain something valuable outside of this Baron. It's some gold, it's the Baron buff, but they need to continue to grow their gold lead here. and get far enough ahead. Because the problem is, as soon as this runs out, and the map is yet again split, let me hold on to that point because they're going on towards Shift. Can't quite kill him just yet, and instantly Yaki dies. Nulu down to half already. What is happening here? Now Smurf is caught on the wrong side of the rift. He is running for his life, and I think he might not be able to find a way out of it as Caps looks to take the blast cone around him. And never mind, Trundle is the troll, able to walk out of it. Yaki, though, thought he had the secure kill. The Oriana ball was on top of him, but Shift survives all of the burst and just turns it around very quickly.
Shift was, yeah, it's clear now from Native's perspective that Shift is the guy to focus. Unfortunately for them, he is far too tanky around his team for anything to happen, and with the amount of burst damage that the rest of the team has, especially coming through that Syndra, you can delete the ball delivery messenger and then just take him over as the Viego. You get a whole bunch of healing, you get like a mini Zhonya's effect in that as well. This is actually looking really good right now for DMG. I have to say, like, you know, getting this tower here as well. This dragon's going to be spawning in 1 minute's time. Unfortunately, Nash will also be timing out at the same time there for DMG. But one thing that I will just like focus on real quick is like Smurfy, when he TP'd into that fight around the Baron area, I wasn't sure if it was a good idea because I think he may have just been able to end through bot at that time. And now I think has made the split push trickier to execute from Native's perspective, and that might just be their best win condition in this game now.
Natives are 1,500 gold behind, but that could be closed by getting this Drake. Not in terms of the gold score, but in terms of the invisible gold worth it from getting that soul. But DMG looks set to try and stop them in their tracks. Caps, though, still struggling on this top side. For now, with the Baron buff, he's able to hold him off as the minions die so slowly to the Smurfer damage. And that is good, but only for the next 10 seconds, then that is gone. The positive thing, though, is look what the gold difference is. 3.5k difference in the top side obviously means Smurfer will bully Caps, but when you look at the grand scheme of things, it is actually DMG in a 4v4 that has a pretty big lead. So now the rest of Natives, gold lead not in their favor, have to try and do something here. They don't have the priority heading into the pit as well. Yaki, can he get the steal? Because it is the soul. Liam Cole, though, down to half. I see he hits a counter snipe on Rusty Sniper. Dropping to 6k. Yaki in the pit. This fight feels like it could decide so much. Both teams waiting. Looking for the right engage. Double TPs coming in. They want the engage. They found Rusty Sniper with the follow-up. Not quite there. Smurfer is now in the front line dealing the damage. Shift has found Run Reset. Can he find the others? Yes, is yet again the emphatic answer. They will stop the soul. Not quite actually. Natives get it. But who cares? Because DMG will find 4. They could run down mid lane, and Rusty Sniper is the only one here to try and stop the DMG advance.
Can Rusty Sniper stop this push? Liam Cole has actually reset. He's defending the base. I don't think DMG will end it.
It's not over. It's not over.
Yeah, crucially though, Nulu stole the dragon. That is now Hextech Soul over to Natives. And whereas these team fights are going in DMG's favor and they're playing them so beautifully, you're now up against Hextech Soul for the next fight. That could just be the difference because a lot of these fights are on a knife's edge as far as the health bars go. I have to give a lot of credit to DMG, but again, it's still looking tough. I'm kind of worried for them at the end of the day. Yeah, you get those kills, but losing Dragon means so much, and you only get that one tower mid too. So, oh man, it's exciting. It's hella exciting. I'm definitely on board for this show right here. DMG would be a pretty big, if not the biggest underdog story and upset of the split, considering the winless team with a reserve support player in the top lane off-road. Oh my goodness, what a story.
You're making a great point. We had Light Sides upset against Lion's Creed last week. I thought that was probably one of the biggest we've had in all of NLC history, but you're making a good case here as well. But that's probably just the reason, one of the reasons I'm not completely sold on it is because when I initially looked at this DMG roster, I made my bold statement. I thought they were gonna, maybe even sneak into playoffs. I knew this roster was good. But their over-reliance on comfort and going, back to, we know we're good at these champions as individuals, just didn't work out. And it feels great to finally see this team show up. But I do agree with you, massive underdogs against the first place in our league, and with a substitute support player playing in the top side. But the game is not over yet. The upside is not complete, as Smurfy is set on taking down the inhibitor, and maybe even more if he gets the time. He can easily kill Caps here. Not quite in the small trades, but when he pops that subjugate, the resistances are gone, and Yaki looking for Agony Pain. Surely they will find him here. Is the damage there? No! Still not! Agony Pain dies to the shockwave. The resets though, are they coming through as Nulu's the target? And with the flash, he might find a way out, but not today, as Liam Cole will secure the kill, and Shift continues to run forward. He's unstoppable, unable to be taken down as he's godlike. He's found them all. Double kill for him, as only Smurfer remains to try and stop Natives or DMG from advancing further. Natives, though, they are grasping at straws here. Smurfer's in the base.
Sure,
the Baron
you have
is being
to
the
have an
target.
answer. You have to answer
Will
this.
Smurfer end? Yes, someone has to do something. Caps can't do this on his own. Smurfy will heal up so much from these minions that he can continue this advance. Yes, the Baron dies soon. What is happening in this game, Foxtrot? Liam Cole is back, and Smurfy now has to run. He should be able to get out, but this game still far from over.
You asked me what is happening. I don't know. I have no idea what's happening here.
How's the Baron going?
Again
Okay, they're
going
getting
into
the Baron.
DMG's favor, even though they were caught out this time. Wait a sec. Maybe they actually...
Can they stop the back?
I think they might do.
Shift.
There's TP
But they
coming
don't
in
have
as
the
well
damage to
from
kill
Lulu.
Smurfer. Subjugate is up in just 2 seconds. That will be crucial if they want to win this fight. Shift, despite being alone, is 12-2, using the Heartbreaker. Can he get... Oh, he cannot. He gets stopped. Can't quite get the portal. He's gone. Shut down on the main carry, the one that has continually been pushing DMG ahead.
Well, what do you
The
get
goalie
from
might
this?
say 4K, but all of that is on Shift. Will they try and end the game? Will they just run it down mid lane? There's only one Nexus Tower remaining.
Yeah, this is the trickiness
Fuck
here,
up, I
though.
can't believe this.
The thing is, like, Shift doesn't provide too much in the form of wave clear. I think you can just stall out until he's back up. There's only
Can you,
30
though?
seconds
Oh, you have the Baron
left.
buff.
Yeah, you've
Oh.
got Nash, you've got
Yeah, you've got Nash. I see
you've
your
got
point.
Varus, you've got Syndra. Like, unless you
Smurf,
full on
though?
dive here.
Does he care? He takes these objectives so quickly, and with the rest of his team now, they take them even faster. Still 10 seconds on Shift. Oh, Natives, don't be over eager. Don't overstep the shockwave. They found Liam Cole, but still, he's not gone. And in 5 seconds, Shift will be here to turn the fight around. But DMG are doing it 4v5. They do not care. Rusty Sniper is gone as Agony Pain finally shows up in the NLC, finding 2. And Natives are sent packing. It's now DMG's time to make the move. 30 seconds on Yaki and Shoei Katami. 40 seconds on Rusty Sniper. Can they run it down mid with the Baron buff in their hands? They could look for their first victory here. But Smurfer and Nulu, the 2 Fed members of Natives, will try and stop them.
Yeah, there's no teleport here for Natives, so no backdoor shenanigans. But Smurfy's going to stick around, which has forced DMG to stay their hand a little bit here. They are afraid of Smurfy. And notice how Stop Smurfy mission has been delegated now to Agony Pain instead of Cab. Because they know that Cabs can't hold it. It's tough here. The Elder Dragon has now gone down though to DMG. It feels like, despite all of these team fights, despite all the great stuff that's happening for DMG here, and it has been great, and they've played really well, they just don't quite have the angle to push us into something that's going to result into them winning the game. Smurfy has to die in these fights. If he doesn't die, then the threat of him being alive and going for a backdoor play will inhibit DMG so much that they won't be able to push forward and go for the win by themselves either. It's so difficult to navigate this game, and DMG are so close to getting their first win of the split, but at the same time, just can't quite find a way to pull it off.
My heart is racing, Foxtrot. I don't know what to think. This is insanity. Our last place team finally showing up. And it is so good to see, but it's not done because one micro mistake, the game is over. You have one Nexus turret remaining. That's all that stands between Natives and your base. You have 25 kills to 9, a 6k goal lead, and it feels like Natives are closer to winning the game. Because whenever DMG get a fight, as you said, they're struggling to really get anything that can close it out in their favor. But at the moment, it's also the same for Natives because they can't quite get any more easily. They need to win a fight confidently to be able to close this out.
Yeah, it's like I said, the Natives win condition really is just the split push at this point. All the team fights are going over into the favor of DMG. And Natives are just relying on Smurfy on this Trundle to
He
try
can't be
and...
caught.
Nah, there's... You can't catch him. Like, you genuinely can't catch him. He's got Mertrez and he's got Sterex, which gives tenacity now as well. Plus the speed boost from his W, the pillar coming through as well. Like, I really just don't think you can catch Smurfy. Like, he will have to dedicate to a team fight, but the Natives just get absolutely smashed in, like TPs into the middle or something. I don't know. Like, it's really difficult to put a stopper to what he's trying to do here. And as you mentioned, there's only one Nexus tower alive now, like one singular tower. And you put Smurfy and that tower alone together in a room for 4 or 5 seconds, boom.
Just 2 seconds, man. It's gone before that. It's insane how quickly it takes them,
Reduced
right?
to rubble. You're balancing on a nice edge here.
This league has delivered so much. One of the main complaints I myself had as a viewer and a fan of the NLC last year was that it was so one-sided. We knew our 4 best teams, we knew our 4 worst teams. They were little surprising upsets. But this year, it's so hard to get a read of what is going on because you can never be too sure of a win. There's been multiple upsets so far already. Big teams surprising us in both positive and bad ways. DMG being one of the ones that have disappointed so far, but when they are playing against one of our first place teams being 0-4 with a substitute support in top lane, they are sitting with the goal lead. They have been the one able to win the team fights, but Smurf refusing to give up on this game, continually putting the pressure on the side lane and keeping Natives in it for 37 minutes.
This is where we're getting a little bit of deja vu, as we've got Smurfy in the bot side as Nash is about to spawn. He's going in.
Yeah, Ornhorn call does knock up Smurf. Can they CC him for long enough? Yes, with passing coming in, the shockwave though, trying to buy some space. Smurf already popped the ghost. He just wants to run out of the scenario because they know they won't win it. Now they're turning it back around as the team gets... It's being split. DMG are being ripped to shreds because the pressure in the mid lane from Natives.
Yeah.
Threatening that last turret standing between them and the game. They now have the priority of the map. They are the ones heading for the Baron, while Smurf and Nulu continually putting pressure on winning the game here. If the rest of DMG show themselves a Baron, I think it might just be over.
Yeah, rock and a hard place once again here for DMG. I think you just sack the Baron and you try and just do something bot side against Nulu and Smurfy. It's not easy to do.
I can't believe this. What?
You need an answer
man
from Smurfy. You need
from
this
DMG
answer.
Trying to respond to 4 men from Natives who are looking for the Baron, but Shift being one of the members here, you can't kite them out quite yet because Shift is still alive. The shockwave finds them all, but can they kill Shift? No! They can't! He's still alive and he's taking down them all! Alongside Liam Cole and Persson, they will not give up! And DMG find 4 in a 3v4! I can't believe this, Smurf, the last man standing, the scat of the week, the unleashed power, can't take him down. He now has to defend for 30 seconds more.
DMG have put pings into the mid lane here. They're going for it. They're finally maybe looking to crack into the base of Natives. Smurfy though, I'm not sure, he's caught in 2 minds. Is he actually going to complete this recall or stay bot side? He will finish the recall. But again, once again, DMG coming out on top of a fight, and they can't do anything. They can't do anything. They can't push. They can't get any significant advantage from this. They will take down the Nash, and to be honest, I don't even think the Nash itself is a huge significant boon for DMG, but taking it away, already. Yeah, it's very important that it's off the map, right? Because now they can't be split between bot and between Nash like they have been the past few times. Oh man, I think this game might just never end, honestly.
Are we in purgatory? Are we in limbo? What's going on? I agree, Foxtrot, because every time one of the teams has a play going in their favor, it is just not quite enough to put the final nail in the coffin. Both of these teams are being buried alive at the moment, and I don't know who's gonna die first. The Elder Drake is now up.
Smurfy's grouped.
Both teams wanted.
Good work for DMG here.
Yeah, it seems like they have a good scenario to fight here. Ornhorn coming through, eyes on Smurfy. He's the big meatball, but Shift Still not dead. Shockwave finds 3, but Shift still alive. He's found on reset. Can he find the next? Yes!
They've done
He
it!
can, baby! They're finding them all. It's 4 for DMG, and this surely is it. They are going for the Nexus Foxtrot. They found the game, and with a substitute support in top lane, DMG will find their first win of the split.
You have to say that DMG earned this one. They fought hard, tooth and nail to bring out their first win here. And against Natives, one of our top teams, they're going to find the win.
It is insane. I am almost shaking on the back of that performance. So proud to see DMG do this. But at the same time, I am now -6 in my predictions. I don't know what to feel. I'm so excited for DMG.
Look,
I told that they could fight for playoffs, and seeing them do it with a substitute support in top lane.
Honestly,
I don't know.
This was like a must-win game for DMG if they did want to have any chance of getting into playoffs, right? We were about to hit the halfway mark. They were on 0 wins. It was not looking good. Shift especially, honestly, I'm just going to say it, coming into today's game, I saw him as probably the weakest jungler we had here at NLC. I didn't look at what he done for his team. I thought he was, always behind in farm, never really in the right place. Like, I did think he was struggling, but holy crap, did he put on a massive performance in this game. Like, this was
Insane.
Probably the best jungle performance I've seen here from the NLC this split. He was so good, specifically in the way he played those team fights. Just absolutely vile stuff coming through from him. And DMG, that was just such a gutsy win because they just kept doing, like, they were never discouraged. They kept getting good stuff. They kept putting themselves in a position, where they could win, and they weren't able to do it. But eventually they found that way. They found that team fight win, and well deserved for their first win. What a banger game.
Yeah, that was a banger. That feels amazing. What a game we just witnessed here, ladies and gentlemen, to kick off the day. NLC continues to surprise. I could be talking about this game for an hour for now, but instead we'll send it to a break, and then our analyst desk will have the honor of doing that. But I will say one final thing: Shift for MVP. See you
Shift
after
for
the break.
MVP.
At SteelSeries, we make the headsets, mice and keyboards that the world's best gamers win the most with. And we've been doing it since way back. It's up to you how far you go, but whatever you do, go for glory.
Both of them now gone. The soul has been denied, but the fight not yet decided. Then in the front line though, takes so much damage in the back line. Yankee having fun with his opponents. Triple kill for Rusty Sniper. He's made Jin look like a champion, and it's the 8th. Sniper! Rusty! Sniper, man!